When the DAC RUSADA's decision to acquit Kamila Valieva was appealed by WADA, and then by ISU, it was absolutely logical. International instances appealed the verdict to CAS, and the Court of Arbitration for Sport registered 2 appeals. But now there is a third one. RUSADA has appealed to CAS. And not with a request to acquit Valieva or to leave her the title of the Russian champion. What had happened? Isn't anybody confused? RUSADA is seeking the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CS, to overturn the contested decision, find the athlete guilty of violating anti-doping rules and impose sanctions with appropriate consequences, which may include or be limited to a reprimand, reads the official document on the CAS website. But no one really got anything wrong. The RUSADA Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee is an independent body that investigated the skater's case inside Russia. The committee admitted that she had violated anti-doping rules, but found no fault or negligence on Valieva's part. Thus, she was disqualified only for 1 day, the day of taking the unfortunate doping sample, which tested positive for trimetazidine on December 25. The title of Russian champion went to Alexandra Trusova, although the official federation did not confirm the reallocation of places, and the other medals, the gold of the European Championship and the gold of the Olympic team competition, remained in Kamila's possession. Obviously, RUSADA did not agree with the decision of its own disciplinary committee, as well as WADA experts and ISU officials did not agree with it. But in the release it is emphasized that RUSADA is not asking for the maximum penalty for the figure skater, as foreign authorities. RUSADA's appeal speaks of sanctions, which may include a reprimand. If WADA insists on a 4-year disqualification, and RUSADA insists on a guilty plea, but with a reprimand, it is likely that the arbitrators in court will make some average decision. Let's assume that Kamila, and the ROC team, will have to part with her titles, but she will be able to continue competing without any problems, because the period of the ban is usually counted from the day of sample collection and the year has already passed. Sports lawyer Anna Ansalievich broke down the situation. There are 3 parties appealing here. WADA said they're asking for 4 years. That is, they felt there was no basis for any reduction at all, so they are asking for a standard sanction. The ISU said that they just want the decision to be reversed. This is the same position they took during the Olympics, when they were considering Kamila's suspension. As for RUSADA, based on their position, they believe that there was indeed no fault or negligence. But there was minor fault or negligence. They are claiming a warning or a reprimand. RUSADA believes that the point on slight fault and negligence should be applied. On its minimal part, it is slight minimal fault. All of these procedures would be combined into one. There is no such thing as treating all 3 items separately. The athlete, the representative of RUSADA and WADA will be given the floor. All positions will be pursued. It is hard to talk about the chances, because we have not seen the case file, so it is hard to judge the success of one side or the other. There is a legal possibility for the athlete to be warned. She is a protected person, there is a more flexible system of sanctions. Despite the fact that trimetazidine is not a special substance, Kamila can legally prove a minor fault and receive a warning. That is, legally, there is such a possibility, said Ansalievich. General Director of the Russian Anti-Doping Agency, RUSADA, Veronika Lajanova explained the situation around the doping case of figure skater Kamila Valieva. After studying the reasoning of the decision on this case made by an independent anti-doping dispute review body, RUSADA decided to exercise its right to appeal this decision to CAS, said Lajanova. Having studied the reasons for the decision, RUSADA believes that the athlete's side failed to prove, at the level established by the rules, the complete absence of her guilt. As at the stage of submitting the case to the DAC, RUSADA is convinced that the athlete is guilty of violating the rules, but it is minimal, and a reasonable sanction could have been a warning. RUSADA is not entitled to comment on the merits of the case at this stage and therefore cannot disclose the basis of its position and the sanction requested. RUSADA's substantiated position has been submitted to the CAS for an objective and impartial review by the arbitrators, added the RUSADA CEO. Honored coach of Russia Alexander Thelen called the situation in the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva strange. It's all very strange. Apparently, they know something that we all don't know. For me, it's a dark story. Unfortunately, for Kamila, all this could end sadly. I wish it didn't, but we have no power to change anything. We just have to wait and see what they make up, said Thelen. Three-time Olympic champion Irina Rodnina commented on the situation with the doping case of figure skater Kamila Valieva. We will see the trial. The final decision is still up to CAS. Lately it seems to me that the IOC, that WADA, that RUSADA, they are making their own races and competing in stupidity, in misjudging the situation. They're trying to outdo each other in who will say more, Rodnina said. Tatiana Tarasova, an honorary coach of Russia, commented on the situation with the doping case of figure skater Kamila Valieva. I don't even want to comment on it. RUSADA is just rushing around, Tarasova said. The Court of Arbitration for Sport, CS, said there was no deadline on the doping case of Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva. CAS has registered appeals from the Russian anti-doping agency, RUSADA, the International Skating Union, ISU, and the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, against a decision by RUSADA's Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee to find Valieva not guilty of a violation. It is not possible at this time to outline a timeline for the decision, the CAS said. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, will not be involved in the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva's anti-doping rule violation before the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CS. The IOC is not a party to this proceeding. The IOC has not informed or requested to be involved in this case, the organization said. In February, during the 2022 Olympics in Beijing, it became known that Valieva had tested positive for trimetazidine. The sample itself was taken in December 2021 at the Russian Championship. At the Games Valieva won gold in the team event, but the awarding has not yet taken place due to the start of the investigation. Figure skater Ksenia Sinitsina announced that she will not perform in the finals of the Grand Prix of Russia. Last month the skater withdrew from the Channel 1 Cup because of an injury. Unfortunately, I will not perform in the Grand Prix finals. The list of participants was formed in early February, and I was not allowed to compete at that time for medical reasons. That's why I'm now slowly gaining my form so there won't be a relapse, Sinitsina said. The Russian Grand Prix finals will be held in St. Petersburg on March 3 to 5.